What's going on, everybody? LK here today, starting the new year with Lord ApologyMan himself. Surprisingly, we have not done this yet. Our top 5 characters in Guilty Gear Strive. This is gonna be unordered, I believe. Knowing us, we're indecisive. How about you start? Who are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm actually surprised we've never done. Well, we haven't done this in a while. It feels like. But yeah, no. When it comes to making a top 5 or ranking any character in terms of strength, it's all about matchups for me. I'm always thinking about what character has like the best matchup spread, right? And this is unordered. Is just from my current experience with Strive up until now. But I can't have a Guilty Gear Strive top 5 without Leo Whitefang. I think Leo is undoubtedly a top 5 character. Shout outs to K7. He's been winning like basically every offline major he's gone to, putting in a lot of work, showing what the character can do. But yeah, that character is just crazy, man. Like his normals are incredibly powerful. His reward for hitting you is very, very high. His like offense is really, really difficult to deal with. His damage is high, which is a very important thing in Strive. I mean, a lot of characters have really high damage, but like Leo, like he can hurt, man. And yeah, like his just like overall toolkit is just really strong. But I think the thing that like really puts him in this like really high top 5 position is his defensive like ability, right? Like he has the flash kick, right? Everyone talks about like the flash kick, but the reason the flash kick, in my opinion, is so powerful is the reward you get for hitting it, right? Like when you hit a Soul DP, when you hit a Kai DP, you're like, ow, okay, that sucks. No more Oki. When Leo DPs you, not only is it the fastest DP in the game, it just gives him like one of his, like he gives you a mix-up, he gives you a setup like afterwards. And that's terrifying. Like it makes running offense on the character so scary. And then once you start respecting him too much, then then the Leo players get all cheeky. They start doing like 5k and on wake up and like do all this stuff on defense. It's really difficult to deal with. And on top of that, he has really good like health. What's the word? Like guts and like defense modifiers. So like you have to hit him. You have to play this RPS game with him, like no matter what character you are. So it's really difficult to deal with, and once the character gets started, oh my god, it's terrifying. Like his mix-ups are absolutely insane. Top 5 character for sure.
I agree. Okay, we're gonna go with Leo. We're gonna follow Lord ApologyMan. We're gonna go with Leo. This character, he's very strong. So I have this feeling of all the big bodies that they're like, oh, well, they can't move, so we're gonna give them stuff to like kind of compensate. And I think Leo really benefits from this. So he's not technically a mobile character, but he has a lot of moves that like lunge him forward. Like the 5k is probably like the main one you'd think of. We also have 236S, 236H, on top of having the relatively large Far Slash and 5H that have parry follow-ups as well. So he can like protect himself, cover himself against jump-ins and IADs in case he whiffs. He has a pretty stable, strong neutral game. The flash kick is another one too, where like it's not like it's some new shit. Like he's always had that, but because of the overall lowering of the character power in the game, characters can't deal with it as easily as before. Before it's actually quite easy to deal with it. Either like you would option select with YRC only costs 25, so even characters that struggle to get meter like Milia can get 25 meter and like cover it, right? Or you would use some move that has fast total duration. So like a lot of characters in Exerd have jabs that a slow jab would be like 14 frame total duration, right? Not 14, let's say like 15 or something. But you could still use that to cover Leo's DP. Where in this game, you just really can't. Like the fastest normals generally are like 17-ish frame total duration, which is usually not enough. There are a couple of examples of characters that can do it. I think Kai is a good example of a character that can like needed the DP and he's fine, but because it's 7 frame DP, so just like Chip and Soul, you need special setups to deal with specifically this DP. But unlike those DPs where you have to manually input, since all you're doing is holding down, and again, offense is not as strong generally as compared to old Guilty Gear, it's harder to not just bait out or cover it, but also hard to get him to stand up so that he isn't charging. Not only that, on counter hit, he also gets his win condition. He can be back turn. He doesn't get to like 50-50 you, but just the fact that he's in front of you in back turn doing what he wants to do, like playing the game the way he wants to, he's really, really good. On top of that, too, I think he has some of the best anti-airs in the game. I think his jab anti-air is really, really good and converts into turbulence, which is a big deal because that's win condition immediately. And his 6P is amazing on top of that. So I basically am with him. At this point, I think everyone agrees that the character is really strong. And it's kind of unfortunate that a brawler is top tier because again, like people like ApologyMan mentioned, they start getting really cheeky because of you have to be scared of this defensive option if you don't have something prepared.
For my next character, I actually was going kind of back and forth on him, but it's a bit of a hot take to even think to go back and forth on him. But it's Nagoriyuki as my other character. This is unordered once again. I had to kind of re-evaluate him because like it's all about matchups, right? And I'm super biased because I play Faust, and in my opinion, I think Faust beats Nago, and I think there's a couple other characters that actually give Nago a run for his money. Right now, I see people rate Nago super duper high, and it makes sense. Like his options are really strong. Like he has really high damage, like probably some of the highest damage in the game. His normals are very, very strong, and when he gets like his momentum going with like the blood in the corner, like it's really terrifying. And like I think one of the best things about him in the meta is actually his matchup with Leo. I think being able to fight that character right now is like a godsend. Like that, I think Leo, honestly, matchup wise, like there isn't that many like I can't really say a matchup that he loses. Like I once again, you know, I'm not like the authority on like Leo or anything, but to my knowledge right now, it doesn't sound like Leo is like struggling in all these matchups. The number one matchup I always hear complained about for Leo though is Nago, and I think like that alone combined with his matchups also being really good. Like he fights a lot of good characters. He fights Soul really well, which is, you know, that's really important. And yeah, so I think that he fights Ram really well too, which is really important too. I think that combined with just how overall strong the character's options are definitely makes him a top 5 character in Strive.
I'm gonna agree. Also, I had Nago also in my unordered option selected top 5. So it is a thing about matchups, of course. If you want to like throw back to Leo, probably the 3 that I would say offhand that he like struggles with, and this is something I mentioned for like all the characters in the game. Every character in this game has a weakness by design. The main things about like Leo Nago is that their bad matchups are just not common. So you heard ApologyMan mention Faust beats Nago, but people call Faust Loust, so they don't want to fucking play Faust. So then they run to Nago for whatever character they play, like Soul or whatever, get smoked, and then call the character broken. So, for example, Leo, in my opinion, right, from what I know, the matchups he struggles with are Zato. This you hear like back and forth. Like I hear Leo players say like Zato is really not fun to play against, but I hear Zato players be like, you know, this match is even. So the truth's probably in the middle, and maybe Zato has like a slight favor. Another one is Nago. That's one you hear all the time about how Leo players don't like Nago. Nago players don't have footsies, blah 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 blah, because he can't get in. Nago has a big sword. And then when low blood, you gotta worry about special moves coming at you, and like he ignores the fireball, blah blah blah. High blood, he turns into a 5H machine. Tough, got it. And the last one, probably Axel, for similar reason. Like it's just hard to catch Axel. He covers space really well, really long, non-committal. To my knowledge, it's just hard for him to get around a lot of Axel's moves and things like that. Also, these characters are not, besides Nago, these characters are not common. Axel's not that common. Zato's not that common. So that's a big part of it on the Leo side. For Nago, simple strategy, right? Relatively simple to play. Big normals. Characters aren't as mobile as they used to be, so it's hard to get around it. And then he is very mobile. Like he's very good at traversing space, very good at creating advantageous situations for himself from really far distances. His conversion ability is really, really good. High life as well. And then if you don't prepare for certain situations, it could be really tough to deal with him. A really good example is Blood Rage. So if your character is not good, especially good at punishing Blood Rage, let's say you don't have like a command grab that does 80%, or like Zato has a combo that basically is a touch of death on Blood Rage. You know, so if you don't have something like that, and you don't have like a super good punish on Blood Rage. So you basically hit him, knock him down maybe, and he gets up and he's just boom, ready to go with the Beyblade, ready to go, just full resources, ready to push. Dealing with Nagoriyuki's match flow is pretty tough, and he's really good against a lot of the common characters in the game. So those are main reasons why I think he's top 5.
Yeah, so the next character in my top 5, back in line with the philosophy of matchups being everything, right, is Giovanna. So I think right now, Giovanna, and I hear things change like back and forth every day with some of the Geo players that I hear talk about the character and that are really strong with them with her, is that she doesn't lose any matchup. Like, she actually doesn't really have that many tough matchups, if any at all. I think that is so strong. Even maybe if she doesn't win a ton of matchups, the fact that she has so many even matchups is what sounds like Geo's matchup spread is like overall, is really powerful. I think not losing, I value that really highly. Not losing a lot of matchups over like winning really hard over a lot of characters, because that means like you can just solo main the character and then just fight it out and like get good with the character alone, and that to me has tons of value in any competitive fighting game at all. So I put Geo in top 5 because of that. But I could see her maybe going up and down, like based on her matchups like being like kind of fleshed out more, because she is like, I think, kind of an uncommon character in competitive play. I feel like I don't know. I feel like she's a bit rare right now, when I feel like a lot more people should be playing it. Like me, I'm thinking about it. But I think she's a very powerful character, and she is not to be messed with. And you'll see her a lot this year, I think.
Okay, yeah, that one's pretty interesting, because from what I hear, there's like, because I'm kind of with you. I think she's really strong. I don't think she's top 5, but I think she's really strong. But I do hear some like sadness of Giovanna, like, oh, she's not good enough energy for some people, and I'm like, this character's not good. Like, what do you mean? This is probably the first one we diverge on. So rather than following you, I'll pick a character that maybe you didn't pick. I don't know. I think Ino is top 5 character in the game. Ino, and I've been thinking about this a lot in this game. So Ino's a mix of character like Milia, but the difference is I think Ino has the ability to just make shit happen like so well, because she has stroke to go under things, and she has the hover dash to go over things. She has really, really good normals. They made her a lot faster. She has really good mix-up, and her pressure, the way her pressure is structured, if you do nothing, you're going to get hit eventually. So you have to do something. This is a theme I think every single top tier in the game has. You have to do something. You can't just sit there. There are some characters where you can kind of just be like, just sit there, and like if they pull up, cool. Maybe they have like one scary thing. So honestly, Faust is a good example, right? And now I have enlisted as a Faust player. I have been playing Faust quite a bit. Now it's not a secret. Most people just sit there against Faust, and until you show command grab one time, they will just sit there because nothing is really plus. He's good at pushing himself into his ideal positioning and then going back to neutral. He's good at that. That's probably what you want to aim for if you're playing really safely. But when you're blocking him, you're not like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit the whole time. I have to press buttons to get out. If you don't press buttons, she's gonna instant overhead you eventually, and you're just giving her more and more chances to mix you up. You're giving her more meter to play with. You're getting your risk going up. It's not good. She's also really good at taking advantage of system mechanics. They benefit her a lot. Gold Burst is amazing for her if she hits it. Her super is really strong. Not a lot of characters even have a response to her just flying up and doing super to you. She has the best wall stomp in the game. She has one of the best wall breaks in the game. If you have like 55%, she's got 50 meter. Not only do you have to worry about dash super, you have to worry about grab super that with the wall break will kill you. She just has a lot of ways to just flip the game around. So between her ability to act when she wants to act, because some characters I don't think can do that. For example, Milia, I think most matchups you just counter people. You don't I'm not like, it's time for me to go in. I'm like, oh, well, he's got this, so I gotta stand here and like wait for this, so I can go right over it at the perfect time or right under it at the perfect time, and then punish them and then do my plan. It's like, oh, well, like this loses a stroke, this loses the hover dash, and I'm sitting here, you can't air dash at me because my 6P is really good. What's good? When I want to do it, I want to do it. When I feel like chilling, and then that leads to her win condition right away. And even when she makes you block, she gets to do these things. It's not even just like she has to hit you. So I think she's like incredibly strong and kind of underrated.
For sure, yeah. I was like really unsure about like evaluating her in general. I think a lot of people kind of struggle to evaluate her, but shoutouts to Daru. That dude's been putting in mad work with the character in Diaphone. Like the players are definitely out there putting in the work, but I couldn't put her in my top 5 because I just was unsure about like some of like what her matchups are. But she can just win and rob you right at any point. Her offense is just so scary. But I think for my next character that I have to go with in top 5, it has to be Ramlethal. This character, her win condition is very, very powerful. When she gets you to the corner, her sword pressure is absolutely insane. Her normals in the mid range are really strong too. I think she has a lot of good matchups in this game. I think there's a lot of good representation for the character as well. I'd say, I guess the matchups maybe she struggles with, I hear, are Nago. I hear she struggles with Nago. I hear she struggles with Milia. I hear she struggles with maybe Leo. It's hard to say. I think maybe Leo could be even. I have to probably hear more from the Leo and Ram players. I hear that matchup go back and forth. But the matchups within the top 5 too, I think are really important. So I always try to think about that. Like how they fight characters within each other, like around the cast and like with themselves. But I think Ram has like a really strong matchup spread in general. And yeah, her win condition is just so powerful. Like the sword pressure in the corner is just absolutely insane. And they buffed her a bunch this season for like no reason. Like her combos now are way better. She has the Rekka cancels into Rekkas. Her meter gain right now is insane. She has her dive move, her little flip overhead special is plus now, which is crazy too, which helps re-grab sword if you like did it in like kind of like a crappy situation, and like you could just like keep extending your offense. But yeah, her meter gain right now is super dope, and I personally hate that character a lot too. So maybe there's a little bit bias there, whatever. But I think Ram is a top 5 character. I think she's just so good right now, and there's a lot of players showing why she is really strong right now too.
I'm going to be following you with that. I have Ramlethal on my list as well. Basically what you said, she's really strong. In my opinion, she struggles against fast characters. So like Chip is tough, Amelia is tough. I hear mixed things about Leo and Nago. Nago's a really contested one. There's some people who are like, yeah, she loses. There's other people who are like, what's wrong with you? She destroys him. So like, I don't know, truth's in the middle probably. But her general game plan is really good. Her design is supposed to be like, she's okay mid-screen and then like really strong in the corner. But the main thing is like, she does that shit from outside the corner and puts you there. So like, her threat on the screen is always like pretty high, and if your character is not mobile, which again, like most characters in this game are not mobile by any stretch of any anime game definition, it's really hard to deal with her normals. Most people will point to like far slash and 5H, but honestly her air normals like jump slash or jump H would probably be a much better, and also like 6P also would be another one, would be ones that you'd want to point at more often than those, because everyone's looking for far slash and 5H. Once she hits you too, it's just so hard to like burst correctly. Essentially, like you have to burst like pretty early. If you're the type who like confirms situation then burst, you probably already missed your opportunity. Once she breaks the wall, she's a super character. Like she quite literally has infinite pressure. Like she can build 50 meter from her natural block string. If you have a reversal like a DP or something, you can fight it. But if you're a character that doesn't have one, you just, I don't know. You just take it. So she's incredibly strong, good matchup spread. She's been strong since the game came out, and I just think she is still really strong right now.
For sure. And yeah, for my last character, I don't know if this is where all the hot takes go, right at the end. I'm gonna put Zato in top 5. I think this character is really strong and is being pushed every day. This is something I noticed like recently. I don't know if you've noticed this, LK, but there's so many good players that play Zato. Like there's a ton of good players that play Zato, and it's really cool seeing that character push, because he has such like there's so much for that character. It's like his win condition to be pushed, right? And like in terms of developing his set play and his offense, and like how you can create like these 2-touch situations, 3-touch situations from just like 50-50s and stuff. Like I've been seeing it myself from like watching Gobo. I play against Jonathan Tene a lot too, and like that character has so much more potential, I think, than even like right now he's at. But yeah, I think that character is insane. Like he mixes you, man, and he mixes you. He has strong neutral with oppose. 5H is crazy. Like the drill got like a huge buff. He got a lot of nice buffs recently too. I think that helped him a lot. And I think even though they kind of look like quality of life stuff, they made a huge difference. They made a huge difference in his gameplay now. I think he beats Nago, which is huge plus. I think that's a really important matchup. But there are some matchups that Zato kind of struggles in. To kind of go in line with how you mentioned Ino's Gold Burst and like how that gives you such a high reward. I think if there's like a Gold Burst tier list, like Ino and Zato are like top tier, because when Zato Gold Bursts you, he does the arrow super and then he just like 50-50s you from like full screen. That's just so messed up. And yeah, so he uses the system mechanics well. He uses BRC really well to stall for time, to get his Eddie back. Like there's a lot of things that can be pushed more with the character to just improve his game plan overall. And I think he's only gonna get better. But yeah, I'd say the matchups that he does struggle in though are like Ramlethal, Axel. Like those are kind of hard. I hear Leo is. I hear mixed things on Leo. It sounds like Leo might beat him. Maybe it's even, but we'll see. But the fact that he beats Nago, that's sick. I think he beats Soul pretty well, and he fights a lot of characters well, really good as well. So yeah, Zato is a top 5 character. I'm
Okay, so that was the last character, I guess. So we're not gonna agree again. My last character is Mei, actually, for my top 5. I think Mei is the definition of super easy, super solid, super strong character. Lots of disjointed normal she can kind of just throw out. Neutral between the disjointed normals and how she travels with Dolphin. While there's a ton of counterplay for Dolphin, it's the fact that like you have to address it so directly, and that implied control makes it so that she can whip more buttons, like run at you, a bunch of stuff. She has a lot of advantage at her box range, cool slash +3, H Dolphin, charge 6H, all really good. If you don't practice against defense against her, you're just fucked. Like you just can't beat her because she has too much damage, poses too much risk. If you do, she has to call you out really hard, so it's a risk to her. But when she's correct, that means you have to block more. I mean, your risk is going up, or you're spending meter on tension, which means that's less meter for you to use just later in the game in general. She has a really good command grab. She has good jump ins. Does a lot of damage trivially, burst save trivially. I think just all around super solid character. And then like there are cases of matchups where like they should be even, but just because of her damage output, it goes in her favor. Like Milia Mei is a really good example to me. Where Milia has this for a couple matchups where like, well, when you look at tools versus tools, you're like, oh well, they interact fine. Like no one has like a clear edge over each other. But then when you put return on the table, you just go, oh shit. And Mei is like, you always think, oh shit. It like anywhere on the screen when Mei hits you, you're like, oh shit. It's very uncommon where you're like, I got hit by Mei and it's fine. It's very uncommon. Maybe when you have a burst, essentially, or you get hit by like straight S Dolphin, no meter, and like that's basically.
Yeah, no, I honestly, Mei was kind of one of the characters. That was the one I was like going back and forth on too, along with Soul. I think those are the characters that are they are the 7 characters in my top 5. If I could have 7 characters in the top 5, but yeah, it's hard. But honestly, this game's like really balanced. Like even just like thinking about character strength, like at the top, like there's so many characters even lower that can totally hang. Like it doesn't feel like they're that super far ahead, like triple S tier. Like they're strong, but they're not unbeatable, and I think that's like a really good sign for the game, because I think this patch for Strive is gonna probably be the patch for a while. I don't think they're gonna mess with it at least until maybe all the DLC is finished. But you never know, right? I don't know what Arxis' plans are, but yeah, I think the top 5 right now are, they're good, but they're not broken.
Agreed. All right, bring us out.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. If you like that content, make sure to subscribe, leave a like below. Leave your guys' top 5 in the comments too. Maybe we'll check it out, and maybe you agree with us, maybe you disagree. Let us know, and we'll see you guys next time.